can hear me chewing?
I heard something. I can't see. There you go.
Who are you talking to, Shishi?
Sarah in the chat.
Oh, hey, Sarah.
Sarah works with Taylor.
Oh, that's cool.
Or, well, Sarah is Taylor's manager, I should say.
Yeah, I was just about to, yeah.
Taylor just thinks she runs the place.
Oh my God, that was too funny.
I'm gonna let you talk to him for a couple minutes while we're waiting on Shishi. I'm gonna go brush my teeth real fast.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
I need to get my other computer up so I can see questions and everything. Is Sarah unmuted?
She's over in the chat because this is a webinar.
Oh, okay.
I can unmute her. Or just, do you see a chat button down there?
Let me see if I can pull it up. Oh, okay. I didn't get the meeting link this week. I see a Munchy Cheese chat.
Oh, that's Nika.
Yes. Hey, Nika.
I emailed it out. I posted it on our page. Everything. It's everywhere, girl.
I was gonna say, yeah. I shared it on IG, on Medium Psychic Sisters group, on my page, on the Divinity Diva page.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Okay, let me go brush my teeth. I got, you know.
It ain't like somebody's gonna smell your breath or anything like that.
Girl, let me go brush my teeth. Hush.
Go brush your teeth, babe. So how's everybody doing? I want to talk about the new moon energy tonight, and then I want to talk about manifesting for money. Then, of course, burning some bay leaves. And then I want to talk about elixirs, how to make elixirs. So I'm thinking we should be pretty good tonight. I'm thinking we have a lot to talk about because of the new moon energy and how to manifest with it. So what are you guys doing? What are y'all doing tonight? Running around naked, trying to dodge mosquitoes out there? We in Texas, they be trying to kill us. They literally pick you up and try to eat you in Texas. Dodging my toddler, oh my God, I remember those days. I'm so glad I'm past those days. That's what 52 does for you. I finally earned the time alone in the bathroom, and I don't have to chase. Well, I'm still chasing animals. So yeah, maybe I'm not over them days, Sarah. I've just switched. We've gone from the humans to the animals at this point. Bonsoir. You're not doing much? I'm good. I'm manifesting definitely. Good, Remy. Good. Inyanifa. It's a really good night to bring things in. Of course, you know, if you're a worker or you do work, you're constantly manifesting. That's what we do, right? So we work with the energy as it comes. I bought 7 pounds of babies by accident because of the toddler. Oh my God, 7 pounds? Girl, you could manifest the goddamn planet. Oh, Hoyt cologne. I love Hoyt. I have some too. Jesus. You know what, Sarah, though? Shit, turn that stuff around and sell it. Sell it. If you don't have a little Etsy or something like that, I would. You could even make incense from, excuse me, bay leaves. You can mix some things with it. I'm doing a money spell. It's working. Good, good. I always feel like the new moon energy, let's say I have candles from Tuesday and I will spend time with them when I make it back home. Okay, Nancy, good. I always feel like the new moon is really good energy for bringing things in. Normally with the full moon, I send stuff away. Let's see, Rose of Jericho. I was going to talk about that too, using some Rose of Jericho water. Oh, crap. And I just spilled water all over the place.
Spreading the money, spreading the money.
Spreading the money.
Hey, Bernadette, how are you?
I thought I heard, is that Yoda eating? Nooster, is that you? Hey, Sweets, can you bring TT a paper towel? I made a little mess over here. You don't see it on the, you know what? Look in this drawer over here by the pot in the corner, the little one. There should be some towels in there. All right, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. There we go. So what were you saying, Lynna?
I'm minty fresh. No, you said you spilled the water, and I said you're spreading the money around.
Hey, that's what I'm trying to do, because it sure did. It sprayed all over. Well, yeah, Rose of Jericho all over the desk, so that means money come to me. So, Lynna, have you made elixirs before?
No.
Okay.
I've not made elixirs or tinctures. I don't know how to do that, to be honest.
Okay, so years ago when I first started, I used to make elixirs because I was trying to drink more water, which is really, really good if you put an intent on the water because it makes you drink it. Mm-hmm. So when I was trying to open my abilities up, what I would do is I would get like a jar like this, and you can use a gallon jar, but you need to be able to put something into it. So I would get stones or crystals, put them in a container, fill it up with water, and then set it under the full moon. I would sunlight charge and I would moonlight charge. Now, we know that there's certain crystals and stones that you cannot put in water, right? I had debated with somebody, I think it was last year, over this, and she swore up and down I was trying to kill people. Okay, so we know now that Amazon and Etsy and eBay now have these fancy containers now, where you buy the water bottle and it has the crystal and a little insert, and you fill it up with your distilled water, your spring water, or your alkaline, water, and you put it out under the sun or the new moon or the full moon to charge. Well, back in the days, they didn't have, that goes to show you how old I am and how long I've been doing this. We didn't have all that. We had a container. So what I would do is I would get a container and I would use like a waterproof baggie. And I would put my crystals, if I wanted psychic abilities to be enhanced, I would put my amethyst in the water bag and I would submerge it in the water and just let it sit. Now, of course, you got waterproof baggies. The water does not get in, does not affect the water. But what you're doing is you're literally asking for the energy, the moon energy and the sun energy to infuse the properties from the crystal into your water. So you can use little glass jars like this. Now, this one has metal things, so you might not want to use this one, but they have some that have plastic.
You can get those ones that they have pictures at Walmart too. The ones you put the cucumbers and stuff in the middle.
Absolutely, absolutely.
In the middle.
You can get those, and you can definitely use those. The reason I used to use these is because I would write my intention all over this. If I wanted to lose 20 pounds, I would take my Sharpie, I would date it when the water was made, how many pounds I wanted to use. I would list the crystals that I put in the water, and I would list the properties of the crystals, because certain crystals and stones will help you with certain things. So, and I would put this out and I would charge it, stick it in the refrigerator, and I would give myself 3 days to drink it, which would make me drink a ton, shitload of water. But I will say it was actually really good because it would work. I remember when I first started doing it to enhance my abilities, I was using, I think it was labradorite. I was using moonstone. I was using amethyst. And there was one more. I think it was opal. I think it was the opal, opalite. And I would soak these in there and I would drink. And I literally, maybe it was a placebo or whatever. But I think one thing about it is, I guess if your mind can envision it, right, you can make it come true. So I would drink it and I would be like, oh my God, my visions are getting better. My readings are getting better. And then I would use them. I would make a lot for protection, and I would call it protection water, and everybody would drink it. At first, they probably thought I was crazy because they were like, why you got the water jug labeled with all this stuff and you got crystals and everything? And what I would do is I would put it out for like overnight, take my crystals out, and then put the water in the refrigerator and drink it. Pretty soon I had everybody drinking it. And so, in fact, somebody the other day asked me why I wasn't doing it anymore. And literally, I think it's just because I got busy. but it was really simple to do, you guys. So, I mean, on the full moon, if you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to get rid of a habit, look up corresponding stones and crystals that have those properties. Now, we know that crystals and stones have metaphysical properties, but they also literally connect with like organs, like blood purifying, things to open your heart or get your heart. Of course, they're not going to take the place of any type of medical. So you want to make sure that you're not giving up your medication and just doing things like this. But look up the properties, write them on your container. And even like Lynna said, with the ones that you can get at Walmart with the inserts where you can put cucumbers and limes and all that stuff in, get you a pen that's erasable and write your intentions on it, set it out, and you can transfer it to another jug or whatever. Yeah. It was a different crazy. It was a different crazy. But I tell you what, it actually worked. And the funny thing about it is, like Lynna was saying, now you buy containers where they have all these inserts and things in it where you can do that. And a lot of people, well, I think somebody paid, what, $50 for one of those water things with the huge amethyst or the quartz or whatever in. Literally, you guys, you can make that. I'm probably taken away from somebody's money, but I mean, for those that want to use it,
$50, $2.
$2, yeah. I mean, really, I've seen them on Wish for dirt cheap. Now, Wish, I mean, I don't know. Be careful. Be careful with it. Be careful with it. But that is how you make elixirs, and you literally can make them correspond to anything. Psychic abilities, healing a vulnerable heart or a broken heart, cutting clears. There are certain stones that literally will connect with whatever you're trying to do. Research it and try it. Let me know if it works for you. So what are you doing, Lynna? What other things are you doing?
I'm picking on people mostly.
Picking on people?
Yes. In fact, today I was picking on Sarah. I can't see. Okay. When I dropped Taylor off at the shelter, see, Taylor had told me already. Not gonna lie, Taylor told me already. But when I dropped Taylor off at the shelter this morning, and this brings up a good subject too. We can talk about this. I called her over to the truck and I said, "Hey, what's your link to your Etsy shop? I want to see what kind of person my daughter is working with." And she's like, well, I made money for the shelter on the weekends, and but people are afraid to say what they do out in public.
Well, I mean,
as far as, work.
I think people have to be cautious because unfortunately you're seeing a lot of people that are getting terminated or fired because of their beliefs or religion. We're in 2020, but we still have these issues.
Mm-hmm.
We still have these issues. I mean, I've been looking at TikToks and it's amazing how many people are getting fired for doing TikToks with their work uniform on or things like that because companies don't want to be associated with that. So now when you're talking about Witch Talk or Etsy's where people are workers and they have questionable products on their site, you have a lot of employers that will come in and terminate. Now, of course, they're not going to tell you, "Oh, I terminated because I think you're a witch." Mm-hmm. Texas is a no fire. There's a no contest fire, which means that you can be terminated for any reason. They don't have to have a reason to terminate. People think that they three-step us here, but they don't have to. Now, some states you have to, but in Texas, literally, I can come in with the wrong color shirt on and people will be like, "Nope, you're terminated." Texas is the Bible Belt. Some parts I will agree. We get away with a lot of things here. There are a lot of practitioners and they do things that are out in the open, but it's almost like it goes back to being gay and things like that, where back in the days, your employer, if they thought that you were sleeping with the same sex, you could lose your job. So
I get it. I get it.
You're discriminating.
I was picking on her this morning though, because I already knew Taylor had already told me that she, works with tarot cards and stuff, and so I was picking on her. But me, I don't care. Even with the school now, I'm like, y'all know I read cards online. And it's a pandemic, and the principals and stuff are just like, But at this point, what are they gonna do? They're gonna kick my kid out of school? I guess they could, but they want the money.
I guess it depends on who you're dealing with. Like you say, in a time like this, you may have some people that are like, I'd rather have you work than terminate. But you got some people that literally, they can be assholes about it. They can really be assholes about it. When you talk about coming out of the closet, anything that is different from the norm to certain people.
She was saying she's in the city of good old boys. They'll think she's the devil, which is about right. Because, there's a bunch of rednecks down on this side of town.
Girl, they got rednecks all over the place. They like secret pockets of them. But she's right. There are going to be some that will not be accepting to, what you do. I mean, you've had people die for, their beliefs. Where I think, where was it? Was it about 4 years ago? It was some girl in Galveston that was walking around in black and telling people she was a witch and she was putting spells on people, and they found her body. Somebody had strangled her. Now, of course, it could have been a boyfriend. It could have been anything. But they were trying to make it seem like she was killed because somebody thought she was demonic or whatever. So it goes to show you still how primitive in 2020 the thinking can be.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I didn't hear about that in Galveston.
Yeah, it was a client of mine, and it was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, because I remember thinking she was a teenager. She was a kid. Now, I want to say that it had something to do with domestic violence because she had a boyfriend that was stalking her. But I think the media tried to turn it around and make it seem like it had something to do with her spiritual beliefs, which I don't feel like it did.
No, because, I'm just confused because they have the witchery down there,
Yeah, but the witchery is the only shop down there, right?
But so, even in the city of Houston, how many do we have? 4?
Yeah.
Including the witchery? You got, what, oh God, what's the name of that place? Starts with S. Me and you went. What's it called?
Oh.
Went there, and then the Magic Cauldron, the witchery. Is it No, not Stewart's. What is it? Oh God.
I can't remember. Was it Stanley's?
Stanley's. Yeah, Stanley's. And then you said there's another Botanica somewhere. So 4.
Yeah.
We have 6 million people.
Yeah. We have one down the street. You can't even get into it. You have to make an appointment. They come to the door. I'm like, y'all are sacrificing inside. I know you are. I know you. I fuck with them. I know y'all sacrificing. That's why you're not letting me in. But I don't get what's the point of having a Botanica if people can't come in. It's crazy. But they may have had issues from religious people in the area that maybe tried to shut them down.
That's true too, because when we went and got Taylor's ear pierced, I asked them, I said, how come y'all moved from down on, down the road? And they're like, there were too many people there that didn't like us, thought we were devil worshipers. So they had to move their tattoo shop.
Yeah, honestly, look at 2020. We're still arguing about black and white. We literally are still arguing about black and white. So when you throw K50 to redneck hell, I've been harassed, assaulted, threatened. Yeah. Well, you literally, Rob, are going to catch hell all kind of ways because you're a gay male and you practice. So it's one of those things where it's like you're already getting discriminated because of your sexuality, because you're going to have people that are going to be very violent towards that. Then on top of that, you practice. So I think for a lot of people, it's very real, the consequences of coming out and putting their stuff out there. That's why a lot of people are they don't talk about their Etsy's or they don't talk about their pages because they have to be very careful.
There's one in Pasadena. Got shut down because they've been. No,
Yeah.
not the Wiccans. The Wiccans aren't sacrificing.
Well, I think anytime you get lumped, you get lumped.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that has to do with working with spells, conjure, roots, anything like that is considered demonic to a lot of people because that's the way they were raised. And then you have people in the church that are constantly talking about it. You know, this is demonic. I think it's one of those things where it's like you get Christians who they form posses sometimes because of not understanding or not being open.
Right, and that's what it is. And people are afraid of what they don't understand, but yet they don't want to understand. They don't want to know.
Yeah, well, you even have that in the spiritual community. You have people, oh, they have an entire cult class so we don't accuse. That's crazy. But that, I mean, I could see why. I could see why. That is really crazy. I completely forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to say? Oh, about people in the community. You have people in the community that practice, but when it comes to, oh, Shishi joined?
Yes.
Okay, good. What's up, chica? I don't see her. Hey.
Hey.
Oh, because
sorry, I'm looking crazy. I like rolled from work and then here I am.
No, you look good. You look good. So what I was saying is you have people that practice certain things, but when it comes to traditions with animal sacrifice, they're like, oh, can't do that. I'll go pick flowers and make tinctures and things like that, but I'm not killing a goat. I refuse to kill the goat. I mean, when I was first trying to get into voodoo, there was a vegan Mambo, and I was like, okay, how does that work? How do you bring down the spirits? How do you do the ceremonies without the blood? And she was like,
in the Bible,
tomato sauce.
In the Bible, they're splitting, what is it? Some kind of bird. Was a pigeon?
In the Bible, they were sacrificing all kind of shit. They were even sacrificing kids, people's babies. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Abraham was
like, look, take this child, do what you need to do with it, and give me whatever you told me you were going to give me.
Oh, jacked up. He sacrificed the goat and was about to kill him.
I mean, really. But those same people will say, no. What was somebody was telling me about the Lamb of Christ when COVID, and they were talking about, because it was some group that was talking about putting period blood on the door to ward off COVID-19. And I was like, yeah, good luck with that. But the person was like, these people are talking about sacrificing animals to put the blood over, their door, like in the days of Moses. And I was like, according to the Bible, it works.
That was on that Netflix show. Oh God, the old guard.
Where they anointed the door with blood?
Yeah, that was on the old guard.
Well, when you're making it the blood of Christ and you're sanctifying it, which I mean, of course, it would be like anointing your door with anything. I mean, really, holy water, oil.
Oil when we cleanse and protect our house above the door.
Yeah, even drawing sigils. You literally are anointing your door, you're anointing your home. You don't need the blood to do that. But you have people that will draw the line at certain things like that. They're like, yeah, I'll go under the moon and dance naked and I'll be out there ghost hunting, but I ain't killing the goat. I refuse to kill the chicken or the goat. And I'm like, okay. But I think
we'll eat it.
But I don't think people don't understand, in traditions that do animal sacrifices, we do eat the animal. The animal gives us permission. It's just like with shamanism. When you go in and you take an animal and you're going to take its life force, you ask for permission first. And you thank that animal for the sacrifice that it is giving you, because that is the exchange, that the animal knows that it is giving itself to you for whatever it is that you're doing. And it has to agree to that. Same thing with voodoo and Ifa, Santeria, and all those things like that. if there's any animal sacrifice that is involved, you have consent of the animal. And I know how people are like, I don't know, animal can't give consent. I was in Haiti and I saw animals that would walk up to be sacrificed, and you had some that would walk back. Like, no, Papa, we ain't doing this. I ain't consenting. You ain't fixing to slash my throat or nothing. And they respected that. They didn't make these animals come in. They didn't force them. But I saw it firsthand that there are some animals that know what their, I guess, what their destiny is.
Well, there's a sacrifice across the board, whether it be animals or trees, or, I mean, if you take a branch to make a wand, you should offer some kind of sacrifice to that tree, else that, you know, talk to the druids of that tree, you know. When you go to a graveyard, what do? You leave change, you leave pennies.
You leave change behind, and that's true.
You know,
that is
so
true.
there's an exchange all across the board, and people are picking out. It's pick this, just like with being a gay man. Oh, don't ask, don't tell. You know, so they're only picking out certain things that then they focus on that. Just like in the Bible, they do that too. And I'm not knocking Christianity because, you know, I'm just not. But when people preach, and like I said, I'm not knocking any preachers, but when they preach, they pick certain stories and focus on those stories.
Well, I mean, I think the thing too with Christianity is it's definitely changed over the years. Like when you look at where it started, it all ended up to a person's perspective, but also interpretation, and anything to do with any religion, of course, has been picked at and adjusted for whatever the prophet wanted to, you know, make it. As far as, you know, sacrificing of animals, anything you do in magic has a sacrifice. And I don't think anyone realizes that anytime you do any magic, there is going to be a sacrifice because you have to balance the scales.
True.
And so whether it be animal, whether it be of your energy, whether it be, you know, a contract, there is always a sacrifice of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think when we look at things, we really aren't so different across the board. It really is sometimes about perception and what you're willing to do for your beliefs. Because I never knock that. I get clients as a massage therapist that, you know, they say, oh, you don't talk about religion or spirituality with people because it could go left. But I listen a lot. And sometimes when you pay attention to people, you understand that convictions are convictions. They may be different, but you're going to always have somebody that's passionate about what they do.
And I'm going to just put this out there because this is the way I think, and people don't have to think the way I do. But whether it be Allah, Yahweh, God, Great Spirit, whatever,
yeah,
it doesn't matter what you call. Usually it's one great being above all others. Even like in Wicca, you have spirit. You have the gods and goddesses, and then you have spirit. You know, when you open your third eye and you get the sight of spirit and stuff. And so it doesn't matter what you call it, it's still the same thing. You just interpret it differently. And people have to, and we all come from different backgrounds, different cultures and stuff. And so I might have a white Jesus in my house. You might have a black Jesus in your house, but let's get real.
No, I ain't got black Jesus over here.
You know what I'm saying. You know,
but Allah is all a higher being.
But we interpret things.
We did have a painting of a black Jesus somewhere. I don't know where it went, but I remember thinking I thought Jesus was black, to be honest.
I mean, in the Bible they describe him as a person of color, so I'm just always so confused.
Well,
yeah,
I'm like, how did y'all get this?
If you think about it, I mean, he was born in Palestine, which Palestine is no longer there, but that's what a Muslim are from, and Indians and stuff are from now.
Well,
so
he had brown skin and woolly hair. He was
He was not blonde or brown haired and blue eyed for sure.
I would honestly say that he was probably more like the Indian culture, real dark and all that. But you know,
I agree. It's crazy because my
But
mom's second husband. Oh, I'm sorry, Lynna.
no, go ahead.
My mom's second husband's brother was an artist, and from the time that we were little, he painted Jesus as black. So I remember when we went to school, and we were going to Catholic school. We went to mass, and and they had this man on the cross or whatever. And I remember going to church, but I always thought in our church, he did look brown to me. I could have been the lighting or whatever. So I remember sitting up there, and I probably was in the first grade, and I was like, who is that on the cross? And Sister Mary said, that's Jesus. He sacrificed, for us the sin. She went through the whole thing, and I was like, nah, that ain't Jesus.
You guys are messed up.
Jesus got big hair. But that was what we knew. So we grew up in a household where there wasn't white Jesus. So, I mean, it was like I had to learn about this other counterpart. It goes to show
but
you,
it
though.
was still the same, was my point. So no
It
matter
was still
how
the
you
same.
interpret or what works for you, to me, it's still all the same. We just look at it different. The different religions and stuff look at it differently.
True.
Yeah, I think that's very intriguing. Like, I actually had that conversation with my sister, and we were talking because we all know, like, as we crossed over from, sometimes we were all part of Ibrahimic religion, and then we move over to whatever we're practicing now. And she was like, as a Christian, she's like, I pray to God. And I was going to say, oh my God, she prays to God for me to go back to church. She goes, no, I pray to God that, I'm very happy, and I give thanks for the path that you're on, because you seem happy and you seem content. And she's like, and who am I to fault
Right.
the path that you're on when it seems to give you so much joy and focus? And, I was thinking, because I'm so tough on Christianity, I'm like, oh, because of my experiences. And she brought that up. She's like, I know you've had negative experiences and your perspective of Christianity is different. But it made me think, like, I feel in many cases when people are looking at us, why are you laughing?
Oh, Sarah and Rob's comments. Rob said that Jesus was sexy, and Sarah said Jesus had a handlebar mustache. So go on, babe.
How do you get a handlebar mustache? I didn't even know. Did Jesus have a mustache? But I was saying, when people are looking from the outside in, when it comes to anything different than what they're used to, it's frightening to them.
Yeah,
true.
People are afraid of what they don't know. Mm-hmm. But if you think about it, no matter what you call it, it's the same. And so we just interpret it differently.
Yes,
that's the way I think of it. But you have to do what works for you.
I'll say yes and no to that. That's my debate on that, because I feel like, it's just the same as growing up. There's a difference between Baptist and Southern Baptist.
Because of the way they interpret things.
The way they interpret things. So because of the interpretation, it's not always the same. Like,
no, I meant Great Spirit, God, Allah, Yahweh, it's all the same.
We all have a higher being.
Right.
I think what people get confused nowadays is they feel like you have to give up one for the other. And you don't. I hear people all the time, and it's like, well, you were raised Catholic and everything. And true enough, I was raised Catholic, but Voodoo has a lot of traditional Catholic prayers that blend in with the religion. So I don't really, the Pope endorsed Voodoo. So when I look at things like that, I feel like I don't have to choose. Now, are there things in Catholicism that I wholeheartedly disagree with? 100%. I think when it comes to being eclectic or being very open as far as your practice and blending in a lot of things, because I think it's individual. I'm not going to tell you how to practice or you to go to church or whatever. I'm going to be like, do what works for you, because a lot of people that don't go to church will use the shit out of the Bible to do some work, but they won't ever set foot in a church, never have set foot in a church, but they've connected with that. And that could be because of their ancestry. I'm not sure. But I always get these people where, my family is like, well, if you're going to do that demonic stuff, you can't come back to the church, or you're not welcome at the church. And the person is always kind of heartbroken because they still want that. They still want that tradition. And I'm like, shit, girl, go sit in the pew. You ain't gonna get struck by lightning. It ain't happened to me. It sure as hell ain't gonna happen. And I gotta tell you, I've done a lot worse things in the everyday life besides the spiritual shit that I should have been blown up on.
Girl, I'm just laughing because I'm thinking of catching Pokemon in the church parking lot saying, Pokemon's demonic.
No,
But it's crazy. It's crazy.
Because you think about it after the fact, that would have been a perfect time for him to testify.
Well, I think if sister or brother so and so who are like doing terrible things according to the scripture, if they haven't been struck by lightning, then you're highly unlikely to be struck by lightning.
Yeah, unfortunately, in religion and spiritual practices, we have predators. We have people that no matter, they can put the label on it, they can get the title, but they do not connect with spirit. Or they could connect with spirit, but maybe not the spirits that we are connecting with. Because sometimes I do feel like people are dealing more with darker issues that tend to gravitate towards those energies because that's the work that they want to do. And that's a preference. I have no issue with people that want to work with demons or go into necromancy because they feel like that's what they're drawn to. I don't think it's bad. Anything that you do, whether it's Christianity, Wicca, if you're a practicing witch, if you're a voodoo sant, there's always that balance of, do I want to do something positive with this, or do I really want to fuck some shit up? We all are capable of doing that. I've seen some Christians that have prayed the shit out of, take her business away, take her stuff away, don't let her have any livelihood with this thing. And I'm talking about powerful prayers that have made me vibrate. So I know that they're speaking a word, but that doesn't make them proper Christians in my book. Because I'm like, well, if you're all about the God, then you can't really do that. But it kind of goes to where you're at on that spectrum. It really does. You got some people one way or the other, it's good or bad.
I just think people need to do what works for them. If it makes them happy and it helps them prosper in their life, then so be it,
Well, like she said with her sister's like, you know what? No, you don't have to come back to the church. You're happy. You're glowing. Exactly. You're doing what you want to do, and that's what makes you who you are. And I think people have to stop looking for acceptance in their families for that. I agree with you. If you're happy and what you're practicing makes you happy, then that's what you do. It's always going to be somebody that is not going to like the direction you're going, period.
We had started talking about it because we were saying, my sister and my mother are very judgmental of other spiritualities. And she had brought up, she finds it very interesting that a lot of Christians or like strict spiritualities or religions are so judgmental of other people, but yet some of those people haven't gone to church in eons. And then ask them when was the last time they picked up, their book that tells them how to live their life and walk their path. So, but, she had brought that up. She's like, I look, and it's something that she's discovered over time because, of course, we have the same mother.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've discovered over time, as a Christian and what, I was raised to do and what, you were raised to believe, that not all paths are going to be the same. And who are we to judge someone else's path? Our job is not to go out there and judge some other people's path and try to yank them back to our path because it's so perfect and it's right. You don't know what's right for each person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can honestly say I've never judged anybody because of their beliefs. Never have. What you up there? I never have.
I'm just playing like you.
Don't come in here messing with me, Jasmine. Already. It was quiet until she got home, y'all. But I think it's so crazy because I went to an all-girl.
Hi, Jazz. Looking fabulous. Hair done, makeup on fleek. Come over here and do my makeup because I just got off work, so come fix me.
Girl, you far, girl. Maybe one day when I come to Germany, okay?
My gosh. But it's so funny because I got a broad spectrum of other people's beliefs in a Catholic school. It was like, we're going to study this, but for you to understand it, you need to look at everybody. You need to look at Buddhism. You need to look at the Baptists. You need to look at the Lutherans, the Protestants. You need to look at everybody, which was probably the smartest thing, because I learned that in it, like Lynna said, we have a common energy that we all tend to focus on, no matter what you practice. There's this exchange of energy. But I have never come across where I had an issue with somebody because of something that they practice. The only thing that irks me are those snake people. And it's not the belief system, because I had a friend that invited me to one of those churches. And she was like, as we were driving up, she said, "We are snake handlers. I'm going to sit in the car."
Oh my goodness.
Because I wouldn't be able to do it. I don't care what you preaching. I'm not going to hear it, because I'm going to think I'm going to die. I'm thinking I'm going to die. So
I don't do snakes.
So anything that puts me in harm, or I feel like might kill me, I might give it a second thought. But it's not normally judgment. It's just that it's common sense to me that self-preservation.
Do you remember when they had Ciarama down in Galveston?
I think
it was probably like a long time ago when I was in kindergarten.
I was going to say that it's been a long, long time.
40 years at least, because I was in kindergarten.
It was before I had children.
I was in kindergarten first grade, because I went down there we were living up in Livingston, and we went down, the Girl Scouts went down there. They lined all of us little girls up in a row and took a boa constrictor and laid across the back of our necks. And no ma'am. I'm so glad they moved to San Antonio.
When it was like, I'm gonna let all y'all get eaten. Y'all are on your own.
Not today.
You got to draw the line somewhere. You have to. But I think really 2020, let people do what they need to do. Even in some of these groups, I'll read some of these posts and I'm like, whoo, sister gal gonna get turned upside down by spirit. And all I do is click off and go pray for her. I'm gonna say, Lord, spirit, whoever I'm talking to, just watch it, because she about to do some fuckery and she need all the help she can get. But sometimes you just have to let people, you have to let people be where they're at. Because I've noticed whenever you try to save people that don't want to be saved, mm-hmm. it turns. All of a sudden you're the villain, and people are coming after you, and then you got all these unnecessary workers that are trying to put you in a jar just because you were trying to help somebody with some work that was like fuckery. So I have learned to just kind of scroll, look at it, and be like, you know what? I'm gonna pray for sister girl. I'm gonna hope that she's okay, and I'm gonna keep it moving. Because really, in this day and age, it's all you can do. People want to do what they want to do. 100%. And I'm like cool with it, because I think at the end of the day, it's spirit connection. Either spirit will work with you or they won't.
Yep, I agree. And not all spirits, not all of your ancestors will work with you, or should.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of comes back to the little video I made about manifesting, because I had all these people. And I say all these people, it was about maybe 5 people, but they were in my inbox, and this is all I could hear. I felt like they were like snapping at me, like, Mambo, do this, Mambo, do this spell. When is this spell gonna come through? Bring this person back, Mambo. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because I'm like, I'm divining on your situation. You don't need that situation back into your life. You don't need it. Your ancestors have, they pushed this out the way. They've closed the door. It ain't coming back. Get over it, move on. No, we want it. So I'm like, you know what? You take it up with your ancestors, because like you said, sometimes spirit is like, nah, it's not for you anymore. You're not going to get it.
I think people, they tend to romanticize things. So they don't remember the full picture when they're asking for things, or they come from a point of desperation. But it's the same that I tell many people, when you do your spell work, you need to get over the time limit. because you don't always get what you want when you want it. Most likely you won't get what you want when you want it. And that's just the truth of the matter. It comes literally when it's supposed to come. And some people, you know, it's like, how do I say it? You know, it's a common sense thing as well. Because some people are like, ooh, okay, so we need to pay a bill. And they get the money, but they're like, ooh, we also want to go out and party. So which one are you going to do? Are you going to use the money to pay the bill, or are you going to go party? And they go party, and they're like, where's the money? My money candle didn't work. And you're like, you had the money. You had what you asked for.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like a lot of people, what fails them in their, you know, spell work, just like you said, they're in your inbox, like, make this work, make this happen. What I have discovered about spirits is they are not servants. And if you come from a point of, you have to do this for me, which is why I'm trying to, I sometimes guess I don't understand the statement of we command spirits, you know, like we command our spirits. I'm like, I think you can do that, but for so long. Depending on the spirit. Like, I can't command my grandmother.
Exactly. It depends. You hit the right word. It depends on the spirit. There's certain, like the Loa, you don't sit up there and say, look, you know, bring me this money. No, you don't. They won't do that because they demand more respect. And there's certain deities and spirits that demand certain. I mean, my grandmother would be the same thing. In fact, she probably knocked me in my head in my sleep. Like, what the hell? I didn't talk to her like that in life. Why would I expect her to do that on the other side? But I do agree with you. I think sometimes people are looking at this microwave thing like new moon. So we're manifesting big dick, right? So I'm going to go outside. I'm going to burn this bay leaf. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to have big dicks lined up at the door tomorrow. I'm asking the spirits that can bring this energy into my life to bring it into my life. But on the plus side of that, I can't sit in my house and do nothing and expect that this big dick is just going to come drop in my lap. So that means I might have to get up, brush my teeth, you know, comb my hair, go to the grocery store, wear something cute, go somewhere with friends, get on a dating site. There are things you cannot manifest with just this when you're not doing anything to put yourself out there. That's the same thing as somebody saying, oh, I want love, I want love, I want love, but I don't leave my house. But I don't want to get on a dating app. But I don't want my friends to pick me up. Well, what the fuck? You think when he gonna materialize in the bedroom? And if he does, that's not the love that you looking for. You need you need something that is gonna be solid.
It's the same as people who are like, we want to be successful, but then they don't ever want to do the work for it.
Well, it's instant gratification.
I mean, I think you and I once had a conversation. We knew a mutual person that was like, I want to be a successful entertainer. And then you're like, okay, well, did you go out and do the work? No,
Yeah.
so you haven't done any auditions. No, well, then how is that going to happen? How does that work? So I tell a lot of people, manifestation is both spiritual, magical, and mundane. Mundanely, you have to do the work. So when the doors open, everything else is lined, so you could just walk through them. You know?
I think Sarah's making a good point too. She didn't say it exactly this way, but you need to be specific with your intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I tell people that all the time. You know, you can say, I want a man, I want a man. When you get a crackhead with no teeth, that's your man.
Yeah, and if you want to be a successful entertainer, so are strippers.
I mean, well, ain't nothing wrong with stripper love now.
But you know what I'm saying? If you want to be a successful entertainer,
it's true. I mean, honestly, especially when you're there. So here's the deal. What I feel like I
can't hear you.
Oh, she accidentally muted herself.
There are masters who have done this before in other lives, because she can do it too. I can speak things and they happen. She one time got mad at somebody, and I'm putting your business out there. I'm putting your business out because it was like, whoa. She got mad at somebody, and I know she wasn't. I don't want to say she wasn't fully in her power, but she was going off of emotion. because she was upset. And she was like, well, he should just die. He should just die. And then, what was it? It wasn't even 2 days. Was it the next day? Homeboy got in an accident. And I say, oh.
He was like, I'm lucky to walk out. And I was like, and I was looking at myself, and I looked at Spirit. I was like, well, almost doesn't count, but okay, I get your point.
You gotta be careful, especially when emotions are involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's when you're working at your most high. Mm-hmm. Like, it's very intense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you're a master manifester. You've done this before. You practiced before. So your intent is something that has been developed. Even though you may not know it in this lifetime, there are people that literally can speak things into existence. They can. I have people that I read for that literally will say, I said something and 2 days later it happened. And once they start realizing that this is a power or an ability, they start using it smarter, because then they get specific. But Shishi, definitely. I mean, it wasn't even, I don't even think it was a week. I mean, she really, and she wasn't even upset when she was talking about it. She was just like, I wish he would die. And then next thing you know, homeboy got mangled up in the car. And I was like, ooh.
I was like, I remember sending you the picture. I was like, Well, yeah, there's that. There's that. I mean, but my the owner of Sticks and Stones in Fairfax, she's like that. She's very much like that. She'll be like, oh man, I need this. And then like an hour later, somebody will come in and be like, oh, we were thinking about you, so we brought this.
Mm-hmm.
So she's really strong at that. In the store, the energy. I know Crystal Madison said when she goes in there, for some reason, something happens to her where she's not able to get a read on some, certain things. But that store is warded and spelled, but that store also has a personality too. So if the store feels like it needs something, it'll send out the energy for it.
Absolutely. My spirits last year were manifesting it like crazy. Amazon kept coming to the house. I didn't order anything from Amazon. Amazon kept coming to the house, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? If one got a doll, Amazon dropped off a doll for the other one. If somebody got waist beads or something that went, because people were gifting them. People were sending me stuff like this for your spirit. And I'm like, what? How did you even know that one needed a doll? And they were like, she came to me in a dream and told me she wanted a doll. So I sent the doll. Well, I had to have a talk. The altar was getting insane. It was like, wait. But they were manifesting their own stuff. So I was like, and it kind of, I was scared. I was scared to kind of talk to them. It was like, but look, y'all, we in a limited space. I can't give you a room, so we got to chill out. But because they're sisters, what you do for one, you have to do for the other. So if somebody gifted one with perfume, the other one literally would order perfume and have Amazon drop it off at the house. Freaking crazy. And that was the law.
That is pretty awesome.
So it made me realize the power that they have, but there have been things that I've asked for that they have not given me. Mm-hmm. But I know that they're capable of doing that, but maybe it wasn't for my good. Maybe it wasn't what I needed. So I know that they can manifest things because I've seen them make something come here for them. So if they can do that for themselves, I know they can do it for me. So when they block me on things, I know there's a reason that it's not there. And some people need to get comfortable with that not everything that you ask for is supposed to come to you.
Right.
That's a tough pill to swallow for many people. Because, I mean, like we said, people are working from a place of want.
Yeah. But I think, like I had one lady and she was arguing back and forth about this no good mofo. I want him back. Mambo, make him come back. First of all, I don't do love work. I don't. I don't believe in making somebody love you if they don't want to love you. I just think I know it's dominating, but it's dominating to me in a way where it could turn abusive, because I always see it happen where the person gets very irritated and frustrated because they can't leave the person. They don't want to be with the person, but they feel like they can't leave. And then they get very abusive, which happened. She bound this man. She paid somebody to bound this man to her. and he was beating on her because he couldn't stand her, but he couldn't leave her. So he would come home and he would beat on her. And then she was like, he finally left because the police got involved, and he went to go with this other woman. And I was like, good, lock the goddamn door, do a cut and clear, cleanse, let him go. No, she wanted to pay somebody to bring that mofo back so he could beat her again. I'm like, what the fuck? And spirit is blocking it.
You know, I think it's interesting. I try not to listen to the internet or read on the internet so much, but I know once we were talking about, me, Angela, and Alyssa, we were talking about how, not Alyssa that we know, a different Alyssa, we were talking about how you can see people's mistakes many a time on the internet, because some people really, you know, they really do practice. And they're really trying to tell you, you know, this probably isn't the best way. You can tell the difference between the people who don't practice and the people who do practice in the conversation and the thread sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
And this girl was like, you know, my sister's a witch. And she told me, you know, if I wanted this guy back, you know, I had to do certain things. But she also told me, you know, you don't really want him back. Well, she did the spell. The guy came back, but he started getting sick and he started getting angry because he was frustrated because he couldn't leave. So he wasn't eating, like his health started deteriorating. Then he found out her sister was a witch, went to her sister's house and destroyed everything. He was like, what did you do? Why can't I leave? You did something. I know you did something, even though it wasn't the sister who did it. Destroyed the sister's house. They had to get him out with like the cops. And then she wrote, he tried to kill me because he couldn't figure out how he could leave. And and the worst part was, I used blood. That made it even worse because that's even harder sometimes to break. But he almost snuffed her out. And sometimes you're just like, is it really worth it? Like, you can find somebody else. And that's what I told one of my students. Like, there's so many dicks floating in the ocean. You can go find them.
I think it's the difference of doing love work to maybe strengthen a relationship, to maybe, you know, solidify the commitment with a person who wants to be there. I had somebody one time that was doing love work on me, and I knew they were doing love work on me because I kept dreaming about them, and there was no God reason why I should be dreaming about this person. I wasn't attracted to this person, and the stuff that we was doing in the dreams was just like grossing me out. It was like I would wake up in the morning like, and I called them out. I was like, whatever the fuck you doing, stop it. Stop it. It's not gonna happen. And they were like, what are you talking about? Why are you doing like this? I said, I know you're coming into my dreams. I know you're doing some things, but I'm like, don't do it. I know. And I started blocking myself a whole lot more so that they couldn't come through. But it was the idea, first of all, I felt very violated that somebody I wasn't interested in was literally using their work to come into my dreams and take advantage of me. And that they were keeping themselves on my mind. And it really irritated me. It started pissing me off. And I could see where that would happen. Had I been in a house with this person or something, I would have been cussing that mofo out every goddamn day because I couldn't stand him. Why am I with you? Why am I with you if I can't stand you? And people don't understand the energy of being tied to something that you don't want to be tied to. There's probably a lot of people that get killed that way. Because of
spiritual rape.
It is. You're bending somebody's will to the point where you're bringing out the primal energy that could be very destructive, not only to them but to you. I don't want somebody that's gonna have to lose their mind to love me and then kill me.
But the other part, what usually happens, and everyone always, I feel like, you know, glosses over certain things when it comes to spell work like this. What happens is the person who did the spell usually ends up falling for somebody else.
All the time.
And then they can't get rid of that person that they put the spell on in the first place. And they're like, ew, why don't you go away? It's the same as people who curse people's genitalia. And then it doesn't work.
Yeah, you know, get the dude back or whatever. And now he limp. He got to take 5 Viagra's to work. Well, shit, what the fuck you do to him?
What'd you expect?
I always tell people, don't mess with somebody's dick. You gonna go back and try to use it again. You will, especially if it was good. It's always the ones with good dick. They don't do it to the people with mediocre dick. They get the ones that have good dick.
You don't want mediocre dick.
Yeah, but then you don't mess up a perfectly good dick that you know you're gonna use again, cause it ain't working right. Then you all in your feelings. You know, I'm laying in bed and he up here. You know, up down. I can. You know, come on. Men do the same thing with women.
They do.
It dried out. Well, what did you do? I had somebody make it so that she won't have sex with other people. So you think what? You came back? And he up there squeezing all kind of lube and stuff in there, and the stuff he said was like cactus. I was like, well, you got to deal with it now.
That's really. You got to be specific. You want her to only want you, for it to only work for you, right? But they're like, just don't let it work at all. You got to put some disclaimers on that shit if you're gonna go about that. But people never do. But anyway, if you're gonna go back to the dick, and the JJ, and when it's good, most of the time they do. Just leave it alone.
That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
It is so true. I think the biggest thing, you get a lot of workers that don't divine the work prior to doing it, because if you looked at it, you would know that the person is going to go back. Because I see it, and I'm like, you know what? You're going to make up with them in about 2 months. So leave him alone. Let him be free. Let him go out there and do what he need to do, and let her do what she need to do, because y'all going to connect again. People sometimes do things out of emotion, and we don't think about it. We don't think it through. But I divine on a lot of things. Even in some of these groups, I'll look at the question, and I'll see all these answers where these people are telling them, yeah, do this, do that, and you'll get this result. And then I'll pull cards, and it'll be like Spirit is like, no, don't fuck with it. Don't fuck with it, because you're gonna make it worse. And so it's amazing to me how many witches or practitioners out there that are really quick to give out advice, but they don't divine on it. I would divine on it to make sure that my ass ain't gonna get kicked when the comeback comes.
Right.
Not only is it the person you working for that's gonna get it, but it could come back on you too if you're dealing with somebody who's strong and they're throwing that shit back. Because I've had people that have worked on me, and when I do my work, I say I don't only want the person who paid for the work. I want the motherfucker that lit the candle, that ground up the herbs, that was out there chanting, that was in, that had my picture. I want the whole goddamn group. So y'all need to know that if y'all come after me and y'all pay other people, I'm gonna fuck them up too.
I think the thing is too, like when I first truly started in the witchcraft, right? My rule was, okay, fine, you could do the spell as long as you're willing to pay the consequences.
Absolutely.
If it gets fucked up, then, when it comes back to you, that's on you.
Well, you have to be willing to stand by what you do.
And that's true. But now that I'm more seasoned, I'm like, I don't really care. Like I'll do good things for protection or whatever, but they're like, we want this person back. I'm going to roll over that question because it just doesn't even matter. Or, I want to destroy this woman because she hurt my heart. I'm going to roll over that question too.
Yeah. Thank you, Alyssa. I'm the same way like that for family too. Family and friends that I really roll with. If you fuck with them, you definitely, if I feel like they hurt, and I'm coming in on it too. And that's why you don't really do things out of pocket, because you don't know how deep somebody's spiritual posse is.
Right.
Sometimes what you see is only a glimpse of everybody that's backing that person, for good or for bad. Because some of them, you don't even have to tell them. I mean, sometimes you ain't even got to get the whole story out. And I'm like, okay, what we doing? I'm gonna fuck. I don't even know what's going on, but you crying. So I already got my shit ready.
I do know those days.
You know that, because I'm like, you want me to, and sometimes I'll be nice, because I'll be like, Shishi, you want me to fuck them up? Or what we doing?
I'll be like, let me just be sad a little bit. You be like, you sure?
I'm like, yeah. But I think you never, that's the reason, you guys, if you practice, that's why you divine. Oh, somebody say, I know people who own pig farms. Lord, Sarah. Sarah's serious. Sarah say, look, we can put a body, you know, pigs eat everything. Everything.
Hippos too.
Woo, Lord.
Hippos eat everything.
I ain't playing with y'all.
I'm just driving.
There's Lynna.
I'm just driving. I'll drive you anywhere you need to go.
Lynna always say that. Lynna say she'll drive and she'll be the alibi. That's it. That is it.
I don't know. I'll probably be the one with the shovel. I actually don't mind being the one with the shovel.
Well, you know, we can always take them to the swamp. Oh, Lord, yeah. We can always take them to the swamp. Let the gators get them.
Yeah, but if something floats up, then you find an arm or something. But if you give it to pigs, you're not going to find shit after the pigs get it.
Yeah, pigs.
Sometimes, though, you might have to drive across country and find a river that's named Never Sink.
You can tell when people have done some dirt together. Lynna could blackmail me. She literally could blackmail me on some shit.
Look, Sarah's like, you just put a brick on them. Look, I know you watch CSI. People have bricks on shit all the time. People go deep diving everything. They be like, you know, that looks like a little abnormal. And by the time the body's deteriorated, then you got bones. Chains don't hold bones.
You know, if you have a really good worker that wants to come after you and they're doing death work and they want to get you, you'll pass away in your sleep. You'll pass away from cancer. Literally, if you have a worker that really wants to come after you, they can make it look like it's a disease. I've seen it too many times. What was it? And I thought it was really kind of like morbid, but remember God, what was her name? Because I really liked her YouTube. She passed away in a fire. Her husband and a daughter.
Oh, that one like a year and a half ago?
A year and a half ago. And there were a couple of practitioners that came out that were like, yeah, I burned that bitch down. And I was like,
number one, they shouldn't even be saying that.
It was like, okay, if you did have anything to do with that, you know, it's not the proper thing to come out and talk about that. But it was so many people. It was like 3 of them that were taking pleasure in saying that they did it. Now, of course, there's no way. I doubt they did it because the person who, if they had some hand in it, wouldn't have come through and said that. But it was just the idea that you had these people that wanted that clout, that wanted to be the ones to say, yeah, I'm so powerful, I did that. But there's some true motherfuckers out there that if they want to get you, you could be driving in your car, you could be in your bed sleeping, you could be eating a piece of chicken McNugget. If they really want to get you, you can get got. That's why I tell people you never know what somebody's spiritual team is when you cross that line. You got to make sure. Yeah, that's true. It's, you know, the people that do that though, Alyssa, always make me wonder. They always remind me of the kids that didn't get enough attention when they were growing up. Because first of all, to take credit for somebody, especially something like that, where, you know, regardless of what was going on, this woman's husband and her daughter were in that fire. And that's not something that you take lightly or even wouldn't want to take credit for. But you had 3 people, and I think they were mentally unstable, but a lot of people follow them to this day. And it makes you wonder, like, man, you know, we got sometimes the blind leading the blind with this.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned, like, you just don't mess. To me, I think there's certain rules, and these are certain rules that I even live by, you know, without witchcraft. You don't fuck with old people, you know, that, like, old people, like in nursing home old people. You don't fuck with kids. You know, those are 2 of the main rules. You know, you don't eat people. But, you know, but the first 2 are the 2 main rules, period. Because I truly, honestly believe, no matter your spirituality, if you fuck with a child, that has to come back on you.
Mm-hmm.
Because the child is innocent. The child does nothing.
Absolutely.
Well,
and there is no way in the world that any spirituality is going to be like, you know what? It's okay that you just maybe fucked up a kid. and took a kid's life. And so let's say
Yeah.
like Alyssa's like, people taking, credit for things they didn't do. Well, go ahead and take credit for that, because that still sends that energy over to you. A child will always have a protector spirit.
True. Well, I think these people that claim that actually had other practitioners who came after them because of that. So say, and I know that they didn't have anything to do with it. They were just looking for some type of clout. But now you put a bullseye unnecessarily on your back, because some practitioners are not going to notice mental illness and say, oh, there was something wrong with these people. That's why they're doing this. Something is going on with them. You're going to get some people that won't give a shit what your mental stability is. They're going to fuck you up because you claim that you did something like that. Mm-hmm. So you see a lot of it where people are clout chasers.
Yeah, that's if someone's really powerful enough to do that, they're going to know, to will, to dare. And the main thing is to be silent. People are not going to be putting that shit out there that they did that. They're going to just sit back and say,
Oh, yeah. Like Candelo said.
They're not going to announce it.
No, Candelo said that, what was it? Was it last month? He said all these workers talking about putting him in a jar. Most workers that really are about that life wouldn't even tell you.
Exactly. What do they how do they say it? Don't talk about it, be about it.
Oh, Lord, yeah. I got people that may be in some situation on my altar that think I love them. But, and I'm laughing about it because it is funny to me, because they did some things that they got to get spanked on. And I'm sorry that they got to get spanked, but they got to get spanked. But ain't no way I would sit up there and message them and be like, you know what? I'm going to spank you a little bit. It's coming on Friday at 12 o'clock. You might get an itch in between your legs or something. You may or may not. I don't know. But that's, if you do, let me know.
Mm-mm.
I know now why my wallet got stolen. You always tell me, Lynna, you need to watch your money.
I do, but I didn't mean it that way.
Wallet getting stolen.
Last Saturday, my wallet got stolen, but it was Tonya put me on her altar.
Did you really?
No, but she is all the time. Spend money.
But I mean, and I shouldn't laugh about it because she was really distraught, and I was like, but I always Spirit told you what? Watch your budget, watch your money, watch your money, watch your money. That was the message. And I was like, Lynna, watch your money, watch your money. And then she calls and she goes, my wallet got stolen. I was like, oh, fuck.
But you know what? It's all good. I was telling Tonya yesterday, and she just probably did the same thing. Oh, fuck. The best part about getting your wallet stolen is you get to buy a new one and a purse to match.
So not watching your money. Completely opposite.
Oh God, y'all gonna make me tear. Oh God.
Opposite than that. You're like, well, you stole my wallet and said watch money, but since you stole my wallet, I get to get a new one and a purse. Ha, joke's on you.
I'm trying to stay positive about it.
Lynna is the prime example of give the message and then let it go. Give the message and let it. I have learned with my friend, you just pass the message on and that's it.
That's funny.
Look at her rolling her eyes.
I know. I mean,
I'm saying nothing.
Because she knows. She 100% knows. But yeah, I don't know. We got a lot of good practitioners out there, and then we got some that are frauds, and we got some that definitely, in some of these groups, especially people that take advantage of babies. I call them baby witches that are coming in, that literally are looking for qualified mentors and people that are real, and they tend to roll up on bullshit. But it is, it's one of those things where it's rampant all the way across. You always have people that play these games.
I mean, when you think about it, when we talk about the practitioners who don't read before they do a spell, I mean, they're usually getting paid $500 to $1,500 on average to do a spell, and you're just shelling out that money. And like one, I read for a lady, and she's like, they told me that he has a blood curse on him, and I was like, but there's no blood curse on him. She's like, but that's what that woman told me. I was like, but I'm looking at it. There's no blood curse on this man. And she's like, well, I don't know. Are you sure? I was like, yes, I'm sure. I said, can you tell me how much she was going to charge to take the blood curse off your boyfriend? $4,000. And I was like, and you were going to pay it, weren't you? And she was like, yeah. I was like, well, if you want to just throw away money, please feel free to send $4,000 to me so I can tell you he don't have a blood curse.
Yeah.
Right?
But I think you have people that they know are willing. Was that? Oh, it was an Amber Alert.
Yeah.
You have people that when you catch people in desperation, you know that you can play on their fears. I remember it was probably about 3 years ago, and they had this place down the street from where I massage that opened up, and I hate going to get tarot readings from other people because it literally is everything that I see in my own cards, and I hate having to pay for that. So I was like, you know what? I want to see what this person is about. I went in and I talked to him first, and I really liked his attitude and his energy and everything. He was fun. He was bubbly. And so I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and spend $60 and get the reading. He told me everything that I already knew what was coming in. But then he hit me with the demon. He said, over your left shoulder is this demon. And I was like, really? I said, well, I don't feel it. He goes, yeah, it has the ability to cloak. And I was like, really? I said, it's weird. I meditate, I do my cleansings, and I said, I don't feel like there's anything blocking me. But I said, so what is the demon doing? And he said, he's blocking you. So the next thing I know, the people in the other room, he went in there and he said, you guys, you got to get out. You exit the building. There's an attachment on her, and I got to work with it. And I'm sitting up there looking like, what the fuck? What's going on? The lady grabbed her baby. They run out the door. He come back in and he starts spraying some spray. And I'm like, okay, wait. It's too much going on. And he said, you have this demon. It's going to disrupt your life. And if you don't pay me $1,500, it's going to destroy you. And I was like, for $1,500? This bitch fixing to come home with me and be my best friend. Like, really? $1,500? And then when I walked out, he comes to the car. He goes, well, if it gets a hold of your kids. So then he tried to use my kids. And I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Trust me. Don't do that. And I said, you're going to fucking mess around and you won't be in business in 3 months. And he ended up leaving after 2 months. But I think he did that with so many people that, he had people just scared. And I was like, $1,500 for you to give me some herbs and go home and take a bath? And it was unfortunate because I really liked him at first. Mm-hmm. Thought he was and he was a really good reader, very gifted, but he was using it. He was abusing it.
Not a negative, yeah.
And you have people that do that. Like you say, $4,000 to get a blood curse off that's not a blood curse? Come on now.
You know what I mean? You think you're like, I mean, that's what me and Rob talk about. We're like, you have people who are really good and, they do their craft, they do their studying. And then you have people who are not so good, who are charlatans, and they get paid more than the people who are really good.
Well, Nika sent me the spinning wheel thing. And I sat up there and I looked at it for 15 minutes. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I'm not even going to lie.
Me and Shishi was watching it together last week. We were on the Zoom and we were like, what the fuck is she doing?
Lynna's like, maybe I need a wheel.
I put one on my wish list. So if anybody wants to get it for me, I'm just putting it out there. Get me a wheel. I got oils and candles and tarot card bags that I knit. I can give away for free.
Or a shout out.
It was the most confusing shit. So I sat down and I started pulling cards. Like when she would pull somebody's question or whatever, I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and pull the cards. What she was telling them people wasn't even what was going on. So I'm like, okay, these people not only are paying to get a slot, but they're not even getting the right message. I 15 minutes, I had to cut it. I had to shut it down. I started getting a headache.
We never even heard her start giving readings.
She said something about, she called somebody's name and she said, blah, blah, you're going to do this and you got this coming in or whatever. And so I went and I pulled the cards. The message was completely different. Completely. Now, it could have been too that my energy was off, or maybe I heard the question wrong, or I heard the name wrong, but it was completely off. I sat there and I was confused as hell. So I still don't get it. I still don't get it.
I told Alyssa and she was cracking up. I woke up one day, I think it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. And I was like, I could not sleep. And so I opened up Facebook and there's this guy. He's this hippie guy. I swear he was high. He had a beer. And he was like, okay, all right, get us the number. You're going to get a reading. And I was like, oh, well, whatever. It's 3 in the morning. And I was like, it's just whatever. So
was he a white guy with the man bun?
I don't know. He didn't have a man bun. Okay.
Was it on that group? Was it on a group?
It wasn't a group, but I can't remember what group it was in because I was like trying to find it again. But he's like, oh, look at you. You won, Shakir. You won. And he's like, okay. Ooh, he's like, so your life's going to fall apart. You have like multiple towers here and, there's nothing good coming in for you. Thanks for choosing the right number. I was like, okay, wait, what the fuck? I was like, it's 3 in the, wait, say that again? I was like, wait, what? And he was like, what did he say? You start a project, it's going down. It's going down because, you did something wrong. And I was like, what? I was like, it's 3:03 in the morning at this point.
Gloom and doom. It's a guy I think it's the tarot nerds, and he's like a tipsy tarot, but it's just him. Mm-hmm. And he just drinks and drinks and drinks. And I think it was I was looking at it, and he told this woman, she was like, am I gonna lose weight or something? And he goes, he shuffled the cards and he pulled them out, and he goes, no, men like fat ass pussies. Keep your pussy fat.
Oh my.
I had Dr. Pepper, I spit all in my lap.
Oh.
I was like, what? Is she even typed? What? Question mark, question mark, question mark. But I was like, is he serious?
That's hilarious.
But he was drunk. He literally, he was worse than me when I was on y'all Tipsy Tarot. He was worse than me.
That was great.
Shady in the summer, warm in the winter.
I was like,
oh my God. He told this woman she had a fat ass pussy. It was just like, I wasn't expecting it.
Was he smoking weed too when he was reading for? He was like,
I don't know if he was smoking. I know he was drinking. I don't know if he was smoking. Wait a minute. You know what he was smoking? Because he did have something in an ashtray. He did have something. So maybe he wasn't drinking. Maybe he was just smoking. He was high. But it was hilarious. That poor woman, she just kept she did it like 3 times. What? Question mark, question mark, question mark. He ruined her life that night by calling her pussy fat.
And then he was like, oh, somebody else choose a number. I was like, I don't want to see someone else's life go down the tube.
Oh my God.
It was like,
I always say we all have our good days and our bad days, because I've had people that literally have come on my live and been like in my inbox, sis, you need a cleanse. Like, you seriously need a cleanse. Your mouth is filthy. You don't have no talent. You're not connected to spirit. You need to go take you a cleansing bath and do this and that. And I just, I chalk it up to whatever. And if I am in a particularly, foul mood, which is very rarely, unless you come at me. But I mean, no reader is 100% all the time. Mm-hmm. But I have yet to see somebody have a fat ass pussy in the tarot cards. I have never seen that. I don't even know what cards would even denote that.
Might be the Empress, and maybe he had a chubby lady in his tarot card.
You know what? You could be right.
It could be
I should have asked.
He may have been making the camera on, and then like had that full 31. He's like, nope, you got a fat ass pussy, lady. Keep moving.
Yeah.
I know you have to go soon, so do you want to talk?
No, it's okay. My mom messaged through. She has it. She has it.
The what? Your mom?
Good.
Oh, girl, because we were talking about one thing and now you're saying your mama's got it. Never mind.
Oh, no. My mom ain't got no fat. Well, I don't know what it looked down there. I thought she was gonna say.
Oh my God.
I thought she was gonna say, I'm like, no, I don't. Well, maybe I don't
tell
know.
her I said that because she knows who I am.
She knows, she might be watching, so I don't know.
So anyway.
And then Jazz, oh my God.
Girl, that's all Jazz does all the time. Oh my God, Mom. Oh my God.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the Collegium?
So I guess we were gonna just touch base on when we're gonna start having people up here.
But did you want to kind of give a brief overview? Say, hi, my name is Shishi. I am the Dean of the Collegium of Arcane Studies.
Curious.
This is my baby.
I am the headmaster of the Collegium. It is my baby. I have a team with me. We are a team. It is Tonya, Lynna, Alyssa, Demon King, Sherwin, Frank Stormcatcher, and I. We're going to start classes in January. But before we do that, we're going to teach mini classes on the Collegium so you guys know what we're bringing to the table and you have something to learn. It also gives everyone the opportunity to also ask questions. So, I mean, if you guys have subjects that maybe you were curious about and you want to maybe tap a little bit into, you can send me a message and we'll see if we can give you a mini class about it. So then, you learn a little something before you get into school. So, I mean, I was not expecting to.
Facebook page.
I'm like, one eye. It was a long week.
You did very well, though.
We do have a Facebook page, the Collegium of Arcane Studies. That's our page. And we post some fun things, but we are going to start getting it more active by doing conversations and talking. And Lynna is going to have the professors on Conjure Crew so we can talk about magic and what they're, teaching and bringing to the table as well. And that will be nice. We want you guys to be able to ask specific questions.
I wanted to do you next week. We can do an in-depth interview, if you don't mind. I'm giving you a heads up so you can go ahead and prepare.
Is it me you're talking to me?
Yeah, you're the headmaster.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We got to know where it comes from before we.
Yeah, no, I'm totally open for that. I'm good with that. I am good with that. We will try to get all this in because, I fly out in October, so.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to get it going. Like you say, so it can be set before you leave or go start your new journey. I don't know why I say leave. You're just going on your new journey. But I think for a lot of people that have been asking about it and, looking on the page, Shishi has really brought together a very eclectic group of people that work well together because we've all dealt with each other. So I think you're going to find that a lot of that's what's being taught is really going to kind of flow into each other. A lot of people were like, how is it going to work? But I think you're going to really find out that no matter if you're interested in one thing or you don't think you're interested in something else, that once you get into the groove of it, it's going to build up. And there's a lot of knowledge that's coming out of it. Even for me, to even see some of the mini classes and things, especially with shamanism and things that I've been interested in but haven't really dwelled into. So you guys look for those classes, look for those little mini things that are coming in, because it's going to give you a little bit of insight into the class and also to the professor's personality. So you can kind of, get that connection prior to even signing up. And some of you are going to realize that, man, this makes me want to do it. So look out for it. I'm excited. I'm excited.
The exciting thing for me about the Collegium is, yes, it is a diverse group of people, but it's the only place you can go and learn multiple things, not just one thing. A lot of the times when you join a school, it's one type of, teaching, one pantheon, so we say. But in this case, you get to learn a little bit about conjure, you're learning traditional witchcraft, shamanism, mindfulness, all these different things are coming together. And truthfully, I mean, that brings together a powerful practitioner, being able to touch all bases.
Right, because we're all different, but we're all the same, and it works together.
Yeah, like I was saying, it really, you'll be surprised how the flow will go into things. And I think to make you a better practitioner. Because, you know, I think sometimes we get very limited on, I want to study this and this is all I want to focus on. But then you realize that that can melt into something else that brings you a little bit more knowledge. And then you feel a little bit more, I want to say, powerful, because knowledge is power.
That's what I was going to say, that knowledge is power, and people are afraid of what they don't know. But if you learn about it, just because, say, you don't want to do one thing, but now you know somebody who does. So if you need that aspect, and even though you yourself don't practice it, you know somebody who does. You're making connections as well.
That's true. I think even for me, before I got into voodoo, there wasn't a lot of information out there. You had to pick and slice everything together. So I think with the Collegium kind of takes the legwork out of having to go search for the information, because everything is right there. No matter what you practice, everything is right there. If you want to learn traditional witchcraft, if you want to learn how to work with the tarot, if you want to learn root work or conjure work, everything is right there. So you don't really have to waste a lot of time. You're really getting the best, I think, of every aspect of a practice. And I think that's what's going to make it easier. Something like this, had it been available when I was trying to come into it, I think I would have done it. Even though I would say, you know, shamanism is something that I've always been interested in, but never really researched. But the idea to have the option of being able to take that class and still learn, because now I am getting a little bit more into it. Like, okay, what does this herb do? Or what are these traditions? We got everybody smudging and nobody knows how to properly smudge. We got all this stuff out there, but nobody knows how to do it. And so we're putting everything in one area where you're not only going to learn it, but you're going to learn it properly.
Right. And it gives them a choice too. Okay, so do we want to go to Haiti and become initiated? Well, let's check it out first.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that
or
may
any
be the
practice,
deciding
right.
factor. Does Frank do Druidism also?
I think that's something he's considering, but we're going to
I know
kind of like change their flow of what they want to bring now. So that's something we're going to have to touch base on and say, okay, you know.
I know, like with Druidism, you have to go through 20 years of training. Is that something that people want to commit to? But you can come in and take classes and learn about it to see if you want to make that 20-year commitment. Do you want to make that commitment to go to Haiti? Things like that.
And because it's not cheap. It's definitely an expensive venture. Like, I was just talking to my girlfriend and she has to get crowned. And they're talking about that's going to be $15,000.
Yeah. People don't realize that initiations are thousands of dollars, and that could be in any tradition. You have some people who pay thousands for classes with witchcraft, traditional witchcraft, 20,000. You know, you get people that literally, like you say, shamanism and things like that, to become a shaman, thousands of dollars.
Shit,
but I think
tarot. How many thousands have I spent on tarot decks?
Yeah, I mean, really, when you look at it, it really depends on how deep you want to go into it. But the more that you evolve, it's an investment. It is an investment, and I think for a lot of people that get stuck on the money aspect of it, don't, because you're unlocking things that literally are bringing you more knowledge, that are taking you further on your path, and it's getting you where you want to go. If Spirit leads you there, trust me, they're going to open up doors to bring in the finances and everything you need to push you towards that next thing. I've seen it happen with me many, many a times. But I think this is a great introduction of things that people are interested in.
I'm excited. I am excited about it.
Learn, you know.
I think the interesting part is when I actually start teaching the traditional witchcraft, I will be in Germany. So that's like the old country. And I'm like, what can I take from there?
Oh, that's going to be cool, though.
And so I'm like, this will be fun. Let's see what we can do here. But yeah, stepping into like, I mean, because traditional witchcraft, yes, it's more European, actually. traditional witchcraft is more on the European side. So it'll be interesting to, because I really want to go to England too before I go, so that I can go to the bookstore. Like, I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, Book Street in England. It's where all the old bookstores are, and they have old witchcraft books down there, and they're expensive, but they have old grimoires there, still in leather.
I want to go to Scotland.
Ooh.
I think the energy in Scotland would be amazing.
My friend's talking about having a traditional Scottish wedding. I was like, I will be there.
That would be beautiful. So, y'all, we got to put Nika in a lamp for this sugar daddy, because Nika said that she need a sugar daddy so he could pay for these classes.
I would like to chime in. A, say code word Steve. But B, Nika wants a sugar daddy without giving sugar. She's like, shut up, Shishi.
Take it back.
Jazz wants the same thing.
You have to be able to give some sugar, like shake a nipple, something. It can't just be like, ooh, wishing and hoping, give me your money and nothing. I mean, gotta do something. At least get the little nipple, chimey things up there and swing them to little tassels. I mean, you gotta do something.
The lonely ones who like, okay, if we go out for dinner, I'll pay you $500. That's fine. I want to.
Isn't there a place called sugardaddies.com?
Yeah. Look, Alyssa's like, you don't have to give sugar. I had 2, never gave anything. Just grab a titty. Okay, don't go by. She got stalkers. So obviously just grabbing a titty wasn't working.
So wait a minute. All it was a titty grab, and she got what she wanted?
But Alyssa has spelled something. I don't know. People are drawn to Alyssa. They're like, we love you and we will sacrifice. Kind of like you. We love you. We will sacrifice ourselves for you. When you're like, I need to get a guy. I'm like, don't post that on Facebook, Tonya. You got 50 guys up in your inbox right now. We would like to suck on your toes and worship you.
They ain't giving up no sugar, nothing. All they doing is talking sweet talk. They just talking sweet talk.
CashApp, I bet you those will be the ones that'll be like, yes. Yes.
You know what? I haven't tested, so maybe I'm gonna be quiet. I haven't tested. I might be able to get a little something. I might let him grab 2 nipples. Here. There you go,
whoop, switch.
I might work with him a little bit on this.
She said all they wanted was time. Were they almost dead? Because the sugar daddies they were like, I want you to look at it.
We need to have, when Alyssa Time comes on to be interviewed, we need to have her do a brief sugar daddy class. How do you bring this sugar daddy in? Now, Alyssa is beautiful. She looks like an Amazon. It probably is not that hard to bring them in, but you know what?
It's different every time I see her.
You know what? The thing is, she doesn't want them, so they're drawn. She's like, oh, that's nice, hee. And they're like, she doesn't want me enough, and I have to do something to make her want me more. And Alyssa's like, I don't want you though. I was asking her the other day, I was like, but you said you don't want him. She's like, I know. I'm like,
Alyssa said she a shapeshifter. I believe it.
Yeah, she got different colored eyes, different hair every time.
Mm-hmm. I'll give him a thumbs up and say nice things. Oh Lord.
But you're always beautiful, Alyssa. Always.
Always beautiful. This is true.
But she does change all the time, and men love that. Some men, you have some that want you to be the same all the time, but you have some that really love all that.
I'm telling you.
She's always a different woman.
Took all my height. I don't have any height. 5'3", and she.
Look. God only makes people until they're perfect. We just got there faster than others.
Oh.
That's why we're short. I'm only 5'1".
Oh, we got there first. We missed the height line.
No.
Let's go tap here.
We perfected faster than others.
Oh my
You
God!
ever seen a picture with me sitting beside Tonya? I look like a little baby girl.
Oh my God! I look like I could have swallowed you up.
I'm gonna sit next to Tonya and just look up at her. We gotta take a picture hi. Her and Alyssa.
Crazy.
You, Tonya, me, and then Alyssa. So we're like,
Yeah, because with heels, Alyssa would be taller than me because I normally don't wear heels. But Alyssa is what?
She doesn't look
5'8".
tall.
So with heels, Alyssa that night, I mean, Alyssa could have been 6'5", easy.
Wow.
Like 5'8".
She probably had like, I would say maybe 4 to 5 inch heels on, because she was looking down at everybody. So yeah.
She's
But
like 5'7", and with heels, I'm 6'4".
yeah, she was
Well,
tall.
with tequila,
You right?
Huh?
with
5'8",
tequila,
right?
I'm 10 feet tall and bulletproof.
With tequila?
Yeah.
Yeah, tequila have you having that. You be in your own little world.
I can't do tequila.
10
Me
feet
neither.
But you give me wine, I swear to God, I'm Mae West.
No.
Give me, I'll growl at you.
Mhm.
All right.
Well, I think it's safe to say I don't need to drink at all.
That was great. And I felt bad. I was like, oh, I didn't know she stopped drinking.
No, don't feel bad. I just really, spirit kind of took it away from me. I just don't have the taste. Every now and then I feel like, okay, I want some wine or an amaretto sour just for the taste of it. But I don't know. For some reason, it's just not,
Who am I
but
going to
it was
pass my
fun.
drinks off to?
I had fun. I slept like a baby that night. I'm not complaining at all.
I was just laughing because she was like, okay, I'm going to be serious. And then she was sitting there like, I could see her
But
talking.
I was leaning so much, I was like, at the end of it, I was like this.
I'm just like, she was trying to sit so straight. And I could hear her thoughts. Don't fall. Just, if you sit like this, they won't know.
I would say the question and then forget, like, what the fuck did I just say? Then I was talking and it didn't make no sense to me. None. I'm like, okay, did that even sound right? Yeah. I slept like a baby. I can't even remember when I slept that good. It was a good night. I'm gonna say it was a good night. I had fun.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Jazz, you ready to move the mattress?
I was just thinking about that.
Okay.
I got you a vegan cheesecake.
A vegan cheesecake?
Tori likes it. She says the best cheesecake.
All right, I'll try
And
it.
we had a vegan birthday cake.
Oh, are you still alive?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. What'd she say?
She said, "Oh, my bag. My bad." Okay, she thought I was off the live.
Oh,
She was
all
talking
right.
on.
It's probably time to go anyway. We're winding down. It's been an hour and
So-
45 minutes.
So when is Shishi? Shishi is next week
Next
for
week.
her interview.
And then we'll do you the week after, and then y'all can do me, and then we'll bring Alyssa and everybody else on.
Oh my goodness.
Sounds perfect.
Talk about.
You got a week. Make notes.
I'm usually interviewing everybody else. This will be interesting to be on the other side.
Oh yeah.
No,
We're
well,
gonna
you need
hang up on
to.
you.
They need to know what the headmistress has to say.
Yes. You know
So
me.
it'll be
I like
good.
history. I want to know where it came from, all that kind of stuff. So think about
So
that.
y'all tune in. It's gonna be good from the concept to the execution of it and everything. I think it's gonna be a really good talk.
Now tonight, y'all did get a link to get in without signing up, but you are going to need to sign up to continue being able to get in on the conversation. So make sure you sign up at conjurecrew.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page. If you like us and you love us and you want to spread some love to us, all of our donation links and stuff are on that page as well. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Oh, you guys, real quick, if you have Rose of Jericho, like tonight, get you a handful of water, open your front door, throw the water in. Manifest bringing the water into your home, especially if you have a home-based business.
Oh,
You
yeah.
want to go ahead, throw the water into your home. Pour some in your yard. Yes. Literally bring your money in.
I will put it in my bowl.
Yeah, because tonight is Thursday, money night, and we still got the energy of the new moon, so use it 100%. Oh, and LaDeja's tea came in.
Oh, is that the floaty
This is
tea?
the dream tea, the dream walker.
That'll be
I'm
fun.
scared. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said last time, I was in somebody's asshole, so I'm a little bit afraid, but I'm gonna do it.
Everybody had a different experience. Nick had a different experience than me. You know, Shar had a different experience than me. So
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna let y'all know what happened.
but if you end up in somebody's asshole, that's on you. I don't know. Maybe that's where you're supposed to go
Lord, I hope not. I hope not. Whatever needed to be worked out, I hope it was worked out in that particular dream. We'll see.
All right.
All right, you guys. I love you much.
All right. We'll see you later, Tanya. Have a safe trip tomorrow, okay?
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.